As a famous idol and a skilled kung fu fighter with psychic abilities, Athena Asamiya is the most renowned female character in both our world and in the KOF lore. Originating from another SNK title, she was a highly anticipated character for the King of Fighters lineup. The psychic-powered idol, as she is nicknamed, is well known for being present not only in every main installment, but also in pretty much all spin-off games. That and the fact that she changes her outfit and hairstyle in every episode. In this video, I'll try to explain everything about her, like her idol career, the origins of her powers, and her relationship with another Athena. However, you should know this, no one knows why she seems getting younger with each installment, but that doesn't really matter. It's not like she is in some kind of shady conspiracy aiming to obtain eternal youth. Or is she?
Athena! You conspire against me!
As always, if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can be notified with every new video posted. As surprising as it may sound, Athena's story begins thousands of years before the events of the KOF timeline. A young and impetuous princess named Athena used to live in a heavenly kingdom called the Holy World. Although she lived a peaceful and carefree life in her luxurious palace, the world below her kingdom was in a complete chaos. Home to all kinds of monsters, it was ruled by an evil and cruel emperor named Dante. Bored of her lifestyle and craving for adventure and excitement, one day Athena disobeyed her parents' orders of staying far from the off-limit area below the castle where the forbidden door stands. Upon entering the gateway, she fell from the heavenly kingdom to the realm below. Unarmed and stripped of her long dress, Athena has to defend herself against the hostile creatures that inhabited this world and try to go back home alive. Against all odds, not only she managed to conquer the different areas of the land below, taming many beasts in the process, she reached the emperor and successfully defeated it. Athena returned to her heavenly kingdom victorious and spent the rest of her life there. However, her fight was not over yet. Athena knew that a new form of evil would rise again someday in a far distant future, and she was prepared to face it. Fast forward to modern days, a young high school girl named Athena Asamiya, who dreamed to become a famous pop idol, inexplicably gained mysterious powers that allowed her to use psychic abilities. In reality, she was the descendant of the long-forgotten Princess Athena, who transmigrated her powers to her in order to fight a new enemy called the Shiguma forces. Believed to become the reincarnation of Princess Athena, Asamiya teamed up with her friend Kensu, who also had psychic powers, forming the Psycho Soldiers. Both, they fought the new menace that threatened the entire humanity. The two warriors of light, as they were called in an old prophecy, vanquished the Shiguma forces and safely returned to their hometown. Athena took advantage of her newly acquired powers to boost her idol career. With her trusty friend in her side, she started to have many fans and gained a lot of fame in no time. The pop star was born. One day, Kensu introduced Athena to his kung fu master, Shin Gensei, who accepted to train her in his secluded mountain in China. The old man was more than a trainer for the two young'uns. He was also their mentor and spiritual guide who taught them how to better control their psychic powers in order to be prepared for the imminent evil that they were going to face. Despite his goofy look and drinking habit, Shin had a sharp awareness that allowed him to sense evil intentions within people's hearts. When he received the invitation for the first KOF tournament in '94, Shin saw it as the perfect occasion to test his pupils and gauge their progression. He formed Team China with Athena and Kensu and entered the '94 and '95 editions as a step in their training. But in '96, Shin was very reluctant to participate as he sensed the growing presence of Orochi and knew that this tournament was just a facade for a more sinister agenda. But Athena and Kensu were too excited to participate and convinced him to join them. Luckily, nothing bad happened to either of them, even though they almost had a heart attack when they thought that Shin died of old age at the end of the tournament, when he actually was just sleeping. The team performed so well during the competition that the popularity of the Psycho Soldiers team in general and Athena in particular skyrocketed, allowing them to gain more supporters. They started receiving mountains of fan letters the following year. Among them, there was an inspirational letter from a sickly young girl named Kaoru who suffered from an illness that prevented her from walking. Because of that, Kaoru was constantly depressed and isolated herself from society. But when she saw Athena's determination on TV in KOF 96, she became motivated to recover and resume her studies. It was this letter that Athena and Kensu used to convince Shin once again to enter KOF 97. Before that, he was totally against another participation as he didn't want his students to forget the purpose of their training and that he had an unprecedented sense of foreboding about this edition. Athena sent tickets to the finals to Kaoru before entering the tournament. The Psycho Soldiers team fought well and made their way to the finals for the first time, but unfortunately lost against Team Japan. When the competition ended, the team met Kaoru in person, who came to the stadium to cheer for them. To show Athena that her support helped her to recover, the young girl stood from her wheelchair for the first time in a while. Since that day, she became a close friend to the team and followed them in most of their travels. During the 2 years that separated KOF 97 and 99, Athena became even more famous and successful. Her concerts were always crowded with idolizing fans, but she was also sad and worried about Kensu, who inexplicably lost his psychic powers during that time. The team decided to enlist themselves to the 99 edition, hoping that would help the young boy recover his abilities during the matches. They were joined by Chin's adoptive son, Bao. The Psycho Soldiers were present in the nest base during its collapse. Chin and Bao escaped safely, but Athena was trapped under the rubbles. Kensu returned to save her moments before the complete destruction of the base, and just when they were both presumed dead, Kensu emerged from the rubbles with a mysterious aura surrounding him while carrying Athena. It seemed that he had some kind of latent energy that even he was unaware of, but he lost consciousness right after that and had no memories of what happened exactly. And to make matters worse, Bao seemed to be in a constant weakened state since that day. Suspicious of the cause of this phenomenon, Chin encouraged his students to participate to KOF 2000 for the sake of regaining their former strength and to closely observe any change they may exhibit. Their faithful friend Kaoru also joined them that year as a striker. When Southtown was fired by the Zero Cannon at the tournament's conclusion, Bao tried to sacrifice himself to save his friends by absorbing the blast on his own. He was badly wounded, but when Kensu held him in his arms, he absorbed the blast within his body, which resulted in him recovering his original powers. The next year, Chin finally understood what was going on with Kensu and Bao. Both boys shared the same source of energy, which was called the Dragon Spirit, and it shifts between the two whenever one of them was injured. The power was too great for them to handle, and that is the reason why it manifested itself with fatigue and loss of consciousness. Unbeknownst to them, Ron, the former leader of the Hisoku clan, learned about the spirit dragon within Kensu and showed great interest in this source of energy. The assassin clearly wanted the dragon spirit for himself, but when he saw that it was yet to be fully awakened, decided to simply keep a close eye on Kensu for the time being. For the next few years, Chin forced Kensu and Bao to undergo a training that was meant to control their unstable dragon spirit. That is why when KOF 2003 was announced, the Psycho Soldiers team did not participate in it for the first time in their history. However, Athena did not want to miss this regular event. She joined the competition anyway by teaming up with the cute but surprisingly strong sumo practitioner Hinako and a mysterious intel agent called Meilin. They formed the high school girls team. In KOF 11, Athena reunited with Kensu, who had finished his training and was given the green light by Chin to participate in the tournament. But the old man himself did not show up in the event, as he still needed to stay with Bao. To complete the team, Athena invited her fan and pupil Momoko to fight alongside them. Because of her childlike appearance despite being a high school student, Kensu didn't like the idea to team up with her and doubted her fighting abilities. But Athena convinced him that Momoko was a capable fighter, and she was right. In addition of her capoeira, the young girl had some psychic powers just like her two partners. When the competition ended, Momoko confessed that she didn't fight Kensu any stronger than he used to be in spite of his training, in which the young man replied that he barely used a fragment of his new mastered power, as he was told by Chin to keep it hidden and not use it. Then he started thanking his master, Bao, and all his acquaintances for their help, in a way that suggested that they were dead, which was not the case, as his teammates commented. However, even when Kensu tried to keep his true power secret, it did not prevent Ron from noticing that he had mastered it. Surprised that the young man managed to control it in just 1 year, Ron expressed his excitement for the idea that this power will be his one day. With the return of Chin, the original Psycho Soldiers team was formed once again in the following 2 competitions. Meanwhile, Athena's career continued to progress steadily with each passing year, which positively impacted the popularity of the whole team. And when the CD sales dropped recently, her manager came up with a special offer in the form of receiving a Psycho Ball in the face during her latest live concert. And despite being a terrible and painful idea, it was enough to load the entire stadium, for the core fans of Athena would enjoy anything from their favorite idol. Using her psychic powers in a very efficient way, Athena succeeded in inventing various techniques both offensively and defensively. With her mind, she is able to move objects of different sizes. This of course includes people. She can gather her psychic energy to form a ball and throw it as a projectile, or use it to create a shield-like barrier that reflects her opponent's projectiles. She is also able to channel the said energy in her limbs to empower her punches and kicks, and can bend space with her mind, which allows her to teleport for short distances. Athena's psychic powers can also be used to heal herself or her teammates, and in the case of her super move, to create a barrier around her that damages anybody who gets too close to her. Her ancestors' influence can be seen in many of her moves. The most notable one is her super desperate move in 98, where sometimes Athena is shown dressed in a bikini all of a sudden. It is more than a cheap fan service, however, as this is exactly how her ancestor used to dress, and highly implies that Athena is a reincarnation of the long-forgotten Princess Athena. Another proof of this can be seen during her secret desperate move in 2002. Athena starts hitting her opponent, and with each strike she changes her outfit as if she's going back in time, until she incarnates Princess Athena's persona with the final blow. By the way, she is one of the 2 ultimate bosses of the non-canonical SVC Chaos. Tasked to guard the gate of the Holy World, Athena is upset that the fighting below her kingdom had caused the door to open and intends to punish the player for that. But back to Athena Asamiya. With all the abilities mentioned before, one may forget that she is also a Kung Fu practitioner thanks to her training under Chin. Even without her psychic powers, Athena is totally capable of handling most fighters with simple hand-to-hand combat. Her Kung Fu techniques are based mainly on her speed and agility rather than strength. But what makes her stand out is the perfect combination of her martial arts and psychic moves, which makes Athena a fearsome opponent that can get anybody off guard. Besides combat, she is a famous and successful pop idol with a very large fan base and followers. Some of them are even KOF characters. Yet despite her fame, Athena remains a modest and humble person. She is polite and friendly with everybody and cares a lot about her friends. However, she has one asset that very few people are aware of. It is not her Kung Fu or psychic techniques, neither her singing or dancing. Athena's most surprising skill is web designing. It's not a joke. She used to have a crush on Kyo in early installments, but it seems she backed off when she learned about Yuki. On the other hand, she is oblivious about Kensu's feeling for her, but in my opinion, Athena just pretends to not notice. She can't be that unaware, especially when she clearly looks embarrassed by his advances. To her defense though, they've been teammates for so many years and he still didn't find the courage to confess his love to her. But in a game where characters never age, I guess there is no pressure. Special thanks to all my patrons and Ben Ortega for their support. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching.